everyone. I decided to start, I guess you could say, a YouTube career with this video about why I hate Morphe brushes while I get ready for work. And I'm going to be using some of the Morphe products that I hate. So one of the things that I got, and I haven't purchased from Morphe for 2 years, I only purchased once, and it was so that I could support Kathleen Lights, because I really liked her collabs that she did with ColourPop and Ofra, and so I'm just like, well, she's collaborating with Morphe, so I mean, this might be my time to dip into Morphe chaos, I suppose you can say. So I got the Morphe X Kathleen Lights palette, and if my phone camera can pick up on it, you might be able to see that I haven't really touched most of the products. I accidentally nicked this pan right here, but it's because they're kind of crappy. They don't blend well. I've tried 3 different kinds of eyeshadow primers with them, and they just crease throughout the day. The pigment lasts maybe an hour or 2 after I pack it onto my eyelid, and then it just kind of disappears. So I'm going to be using that. So I know that I can tell right now, looking at myself with the camera, that the lighting is crap, and that's just a fact of where I get ready in the morning. I also got this little Morphe Z palette. It's full of ColourPop shadows. Oh my gosh, I keep putting this on the wrong side. It's full of ColourPop shadows. I got this originally. What I hated about this originally was I wanted to use it for 2 big pans of Ofra highlighters, and it only fits 1 big pan, so I was like, well, I'll just put my ColourPop eyeshadows in here instead. I also got this blending brush or crease brush, and it's super itchy. Doesn't really blend the eyeshadow that well. I still use it, but not very often because it's so itchy and I have better crease brushes. So what I am going to try to show, and we'll see if it works, is doing my eyeshadow with the Morphe palette. I love my Pure Cosmetics, I know you can't see it at all, Pure Cosmetics Hybrid Gel Lift Eyeshadow Primer and Eye Base. I've been using this for a couple of years. It's my holy grail eyeshadow primer and under eye primer because it hydrates, it has this really nice cooling effect, and it's the best primer that I've found that has more of a smoothing effect. My eyelids can get really dry, and it helps to kind of protect my eyelids from the dry shadows. So I'm gonna just go ahead and do a really super easy eye look. I am not a makeup artist, I just do makeup for fun, and that's kind of where I'm at right now, where I feel like even though I'm not a makeup artist, I can at least have an opinion on what is and isn't crappy makeup. To be fair to Morphe just a little bit, I was worse at eyeshadow 2 years ago when I originally purchased this palette, and I've gotten a lot better at doing my eyeshadow. I'm still very, I would consider myself still a novice, but I feel like I have a lot cheaper products and or same price point products, because Morphe's cheap, and of course a lot more expensive products that I just like a lot better and I feel like work a lot better. So I'm just doing a really quick eye look because I'm running late to work, so I'm not going to really work on doing something that you might see on other channels where YouTube is their career, because this, you know, obviously, like I said at the beginning of this video, it's my first video, maybe my last, and so I'm just not, this isn't my job. I have to go to work and do my job. I don't even know if these eyeshadows have names. That's so sad. So I used an Morphe brush that I got from a BoxyCharm, and now I'm going to go ahead and deepen this, even though I know you can't see it, with a darker shade. So I went in with this one in the crease, and now I'm going to go ahead and go in with this gray down here, which you can't see very well, but whatever. And it took me a bit of time to just blend out, and I know that other YouTubers will blend out a lot more, but that's partly why I hate Morphe. It's just because if I wanted to spend an hour doing makeup, then yeah, sure, use Morphe. But if you want to, get ready with your eyeshadow at least in 15 minutes or so, there are a lot better products that are around the same price point. One of the things, like I said at the beginning, I love ColourPop eyeshadows. I think they're great. Sometimes it can kind of take me a little bit of time to manipulate, but they're $5 an eyeshadow, which is a really good price. And then when you look at, higher end makeup, and then you get a palette for $50 and it's $2 a pan instead of $5 a pan. Bleh. But ColourPop, I can do my eyeshadow super quickly. It doesn't take me a million hours to blend it out. I'm gonna put glasses on after this, so at least when I go to work it doesn't look like a complete mess. But it's just, if I want this to look good, it takes me way too long to manipulate, and I'm not okay with that essentially. And you can't even see, and maybe if I'll just pick up my phone and see. I don't know if you can tell because of the lighting. I just got in front of the light, or blocked the camera a little bit with the light. But you can't really tell any of the pigment. Like, it just kind of started to blend into a hot mess, and it could be the colors I chose. Like I said, I'm not a makeup artist. I just do this for fun. I do it just to get ready for work. Like, it's not gonna be my day job ever. But I just because I consider myself like a beginner, even though I've been doing makeup for years and years and years, I don't have time for this shit where it gets really patchy. And I don't know if you could tell when I grabbed the phone and put it up closer to my eyes, but ColourPop, Too Faced, Stila never gets this patchy. So hopefully, like I said, I'm doing this really fast, faster than I normally do. So, I mean, that doesn't help. But basically, I feel like Morphe products are crap. Brush, super itchy, doesn't help me with this blending. I'm going to have to go back in with this Alamar brush, which actually works, and smooth it out a little bit. They're a cheap eyeshadow, and I think that if you like Morphe, that's great, that's perfect for you. I've just always had problems. It could just be my skin type. One thing that I want to show you before I turn my camera off is what I do to pack on the eyeshadow that I actually want to show up. I actually wind up using this NYX eyeshadow base. I've never understood the put concealer on your eyelids thing, when you could just literally get it's a white eyeshadow base, and just pack it on, like draw it on the way you would for, a cut crease or anything like that. I've found that this works better when I use Morphe eyeshadow for packing on color, because it sticks. I don't know if you noticed at the beginning when I set the pure hybrid gel base with eyeshadow. So I just put this on top of the one I set, and then I grab another eyeshadow brush. This one is a Sonia Kashuk I've had for 15 years. That it's still in great condition. I got it from Target for like $8. It was 15 years ago, but it was still a really, really fantastic price. And the fact that it's lasted this long, it hasn't shed at all. Sonia Kashuk brushes are where it's at. Because my Morphe brush the blending brush that I was just using, sheds quite a bit. I mean, it was really cheap, so you kind of expect that in terms of quality, but it just sheds way too much for my liking. I don't have time for that. So, and then the one last thing that really disappointed me when I bought from Morphe 4 years ago, and I'm just going to show you this really quickly. It's really quick. I need to blend that out a little bit more, so this is not final, but you get the idea where the green really pops, whereas when you just swatch the green, it doesn't do anything. So I did this on the outer corner and then this all over the lid. Anyway, I bought the Ransom lip gloss because I was like, oh, it's, $2 or whatever, and if I buy this $2 lip gloss, I'm going to get free shipping instead of pay however much it was for shipping. To my recollection, I don't actually remember if that was exactly the reason, but when it arrived, the Ransom lip gloss, I don't know if it's on the website anymore. I don't know if they sell it anymore or anything like that, but on the website was this really nice, like, nudie pink lip gloss, and when it arrived, it was brown, like genuinely brown. And I actually tweeted at them when I got it, and I said, at Morphe Brushes, how is this picture of what I got the same as this picture of what's on the website? Of course, no one responded to me. I'm sure, they get probably a million tweets a day. Like, they're not going to see every single one, but it's just, their return policy is crap. So if you're sitting there, if you're watching this, thinking, why didn't you just return it? It's because it was more trouble than it was worth. I think they only gave partial, and it's been so long, I don't know if their refund policy has changed, but I don't even know what their current refund policy is anyway. But it was either they take returns within 5 days of arrival and only if it's unopened, and you have to pay for shipping back to them, and you're not guaranteed a refund when you send it back. So because it was like a $2 lip gloss, I'm just like, I'm not even going to waste my time spending $2 to get it back to them. But I opened it because I wanted to swatch the color, because I'm like, well, maybe my eyes are deceiving me, and it is actually pink, and it just kind of looks brown in this packaging, which, no, it was brown when I swatched it. So I just figured it wasn't worth it. It wasn't even worth reaching out to customer service, because I'm just like, they're not going to do anything about it. Their return policy is crap. But the experience really disheartened me a lot about their products, just because it's like watching all these huge influencers, and some influencers who aren't that big, who still like their products, which is fine. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Obviously, I hate Morphe. Obviously, other people love Morphe. But it just kind of was really disheartening where people were like, oh, I love Morphe, and this brush is great, and I'm just going to go in with this and this and this. And I'm sitting there like, how? I mean, I know that people say that collaborations between brands and influencers wind up being worse off than if you just got a palette that they have that's not limited edition, not a collaboration. But I'm sitting here with my experience with this collab, and I'm just like, these shadows are from China. I paid $15 for this palette. It probably cost them $5 to make. And the ingredients, like, I can't guarantee they're good. I mean, that being said, obviously I still use it today to rant about it, but it's just, I don't understand the Morphe obsession that influencers seem to have, and I don't know if it's just because, I don't know how much they're getting paid. I know they get a commission when people use their code, but I don't know how much they get paid otherwise, just to promote their products. And when you see these influencers like Morphe, and you're sitting there like, you use really expensive skincare, which, like, I do too, and you have $1 million to spend on better products, And I know that you want to seem relatable to your audience. You were once where everyone else is who's watching you. And so you want to seem relatable, you want to give affordable options. But Morphe is shady. And even if none of the drama is true that's going on right now, they're about to release their foundation. It's still just, the fact that there's even an ability to show receipts, regardless of the legitimacy or regardless of the meaning of them, just goes to show what kind of shady company it is. I always think that if you have a really crappy return policy, I don't want to come back to you. I understand not wanting to take back used makeup because obviously someone's used it, and unless you're really shady and cleaning it up and reselling it, it's a lot easier to just resell an unopened package. So I can understand that. But when you make really crappy, really cheap makeup that is, I think there's rumors that it's like from Crown Brushes and they just had a Morphe stamp on it, and Crown is even cheaper than Morphe, to my recollection at least. I haven't looked into that either. It's just there's so many better things that you can get with your money. Like, I'm going to give you an example here. I decided, because like I said, I like supporting Kathleen Lights. I decided to get her Dream Street and Zodiac palette. And I love these palettes. This green, comparable to the green that I put on my eye from Morphe, lasts all day, doesn't crease. And this palette was, what, $20 maybe? I don't remember. And I got her, like, the Dream Street palette. These colors, a lot of them are very similar to this Morphe palette. And these are a lot better. Yes, it's slightly more expensive, and I don't even, because this was limited edition, I don't know if it even exists anymore on the Morphe website. It probably doesn't. But when you can get such better quality eyeshadow, vegan, made in America, versus not vegan, not made in America, made in China crap, like the distinction is clear. You're much better off getting something like ColourPop if you want affordable makeup. And e.l.f. I love e.l.f. products. I use a lot of their nail polish. They're really great. They're really cheap, but they're really great. And so I think that you're better off buying from a company that's not shady. This is the end of the rant. I don't know if I'm going to make another YouTube video again. But if I do, maybe I'll come back. Bye.